Welcome. Welcome to a late show. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host, Stephen Colbert. Tomorrow marks 1 month since the election. And the president has spent that entire time throwing a loud, pants-filling tantrum. If we don't change president soon, he's going to get a rash. I'll tell you all about it in tonight's installment of our never-ending segment.
Dump, dump, dump! Illegal massive dump, dump, dump! I'm a dope proud boy!
The road from the White House.
Woo! The president's complaints about fake election fraud are more than just recreational whining. In fact, his refusal to concede is seen by some of his followers as a call to arms, which has made for a dangerous situation down in Georgia, where there have been many threats of violence, including against a 20-year-old voting system contractor who was targeted by someone who hung a noose and declared that the worker should be hung for treason, and caravans of horn-honking MAGA supporters constantly parading past Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger's private residence. Well, that caravan finally showed up, and the president was right. It's full of bad hombres looking to destroy our country. Well, in response, yesterday, one of Georgia's top election officials, Gabriel Sterling, a Republican, gave an emotional press conference.
I'm going to do my best to keep it together because it has all gone too far. All of it. 20-something tech in Gwinnett County today has death threats and a noose put out saying he should be hung for treason because he was transferring a report on batches from an EMS to a county computer so he could read it. It has to stop.
Thank you for speaking up. Unfortunately, we know how things end when you tell the president to stop. $130,000 check, but only if the entire state of Georgia signs an NDA. Anyway, the speech blew up yesterday, and this Georgia election official was praised for his courage, his clarity, and his call to civility. The president heard that and popped open a can of suck it. Because today, around 4 o'clock Eastern crazy time, the president posted a conspiracy theory-filled rant on Facebook. No press, no questions, not even the mediating lower third graphics of cable news, just uncut, blue flake crazy packed in a straw and blown right into the brainstem of the kamikaze MAGA dead enders. And he started with this.
This may be the most important speech I've ever made.
I think you misread one word there, Mr. President. It may be the most impotent speech you've ever made. Because it was just another rambling mass of lies that lasted a full 46 minutes. My big complaint? He should have done this a week ago. Not because he said anything worth hearing, but at least the people who canceled a big family Thanksgiving could have pretended they were still eating with their racist uncle. And he brought props.
In Wisconsin, as an example, where we were way up on election night, they ultimately had us miraculously losing by 20,000 votes. And I can show you right here that Wisconsin, we're leading by a lot. And then at 3:42 in the morning, there was this. It was a massive dump of votes.
Again with the massive dumps? But given his cheeseburger at bedtime, 3:42 in the morning sounds about right for him. The president also laid out some pretty interesting theories.
Also in Arizona, the Attorney General announced that mail-in ballots had been stolen from mailboxes and hidden under a rock.
Hidden under a rock? In Arizona, in the desert? Did a fast bird going meep meep do this? And you tried to chase the bird and you ran into a painting of a tunnel on the side of a mountain? By the way, if you run off a cliff, you'll be fine as long as you don't look down. Showing a surprising amount of self-awareness, the president even knew how poorly his stupidity would be received.
Even what I'm saying now will be demeaned and disparaged, but that's okay.
Well, as long as it's okay. You're a petty, angry man, desperate for validation you will never receive and have never deserved. And in 50 days, you'll be out of the White House without the protections of executive power, and no court is going to uphold you pardoning yourself. Plus, you're ugly and your mother dresses you funny. And here's the thing. All the contested states are now certified. It's over. And yet, still, Republicans are terrified to speak that basic truth. Take GOP Senator and Orville Redenbacher after LASIK, Ron Johnson. In a phone call 2.5 weeks ago, Johnson reportedly confessed he knows Biden won but won't admit it because it would be political suicide. Really? I would say the real political suicide is refusing to distance yourself from a president who has lost and is willing to destroy democracy and your party out of spite. It's like the GOP is saying, hey, let's play hands on a hard body on this running pickup truck inside this closed garage. Do not open the door to let oxygen in. That would be political suicide, and it would hurt the truck's feelings. So sleepy. Plus, the president knows he lost. You know how I know he knows? Because he is taking legal precautions. We have just learned that he has discussed pardons for his 3 eldest children and Rudy Giuliani and his son-in-law, Jared Kushner. Now, thus far, we don't know the crimes that these people are guilty of, and neither does the president. He would be shielding them from prosecution with what are known as preemptive pardons. That's a classic move. Honey, I will certainly tell you what I did with the neighbor last night after you forgive me. Do you forgive me? Good. Now I won't tell you, because you've already forgiven me, and if I have to tell you, is that really forgiveness? But it does lead to one obvious question: what are they guilty of? For some of them, it's pretty easy. Jared Kushner has long been suspected of shady financial dealings, plus he's obviously Slender Man. Prosecutors are investigating Don Jr. for first-degree douchebag with intent to distribute. I believe it goes nickel bag, dime bag, douchebag. And Ivanka looks like maybe she shoplifts for thrills. How else did she get that can of beans? I don't believe Eric has violated any laws, but he's still grateful to get a pardon. This is the best Christmas gift my dad has ever given me. Also the only Christmas gift. Now, as someone who hasn't committed a lot of crime that I know of, a preemptive blanket pardon for everything you might have done seems a little excessive. Criming is like drinking. It's a red flag if you don't know exactly how many drinks you've had or how many crimes you've done. Or in Rudy's case, how many crimes you've done while not knowing how many drinks you've had. Speaking of which, unlike the kids, Rudy is facing specific allegations. The FBI is reportedly investigating Giuliani's Ukraine efforts, including his possible ties to Russian intelligence, although Rudy believes he can prove it's actually the FBI that's corrupt based on some documents he got from his friends in Russian intelligence. It's fun to guess which member of the administration did what, and which is why we at The Late Show have created this fun criminal activity page for you to download. On the left, you see all the potential pardon getters, and on the right, there's a list of crimes like money laundering, tax evasion, and snorting coke off the last living black rhino. You have to match the person to their crime, and there are no wrong answers. Of course, it's not just Rudy and the kids. Several of the president's allies have begun a campaign to petition the West Wing in hopes of securing pardons. One White House source says, "You won't believe the amount of calls, some insane, we've gotten." Oh, I believe you're getting a lot of calls. What I don't believe is that only some of them are insane. Because it's not just members of this administration. Tiger King Joe Exotic's attorney said he believes they're close to getting a presidential pardon. Oh, come on. A ridiculous, washed-up, paranoid, obviously guilty reality star might pardon Joe Exotic?
Ask Carol about this slam.
Exotic submitted a formal application for a pardon where he told the president, "If I have ever looked up to anyone, it would be you." Yes, Joe Exotic has modeled his career on the president. I mean, they even get their hair from the same cadaver. We've got a great show for you tonight. My guests are Kate Winslet and Michael Eric Dyson. But when we return, it's orgy time. Oh, yeah. Stick around.